Geeks, nerds, fans of all types like that. As the saying used to go, you want to go where everybody knows your name. And for us, conventions are kind of the go to place for that. Well, we may not know each other's names, but we know the people there. Well, today I am joined with Joel, one of the co founders, creators, if you will, of the White River Fan Con. And we have got all kinds of fun questions to go over tonight. Among them are a little bit of a history of the con, where it's currently at, and where it's going to go in the future. Joel, Alicia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Brian, man, it's always good to see you. May I add also that Brian is one of our diehard, lifelong fans of the White River Fan Con.
All 3 years, and it's been around for 3 years now. I'm just
Yeah,
marveling at that. It's unbelievable. Talking about the history a little bit, it is unbelievable to me that this thing started about 3 years ago, and we have already seen it really grow by leaps and bounds
yeah,
just in the 2 years that it was. But this year, let's see. So, all right, let's jump back in time just a few minutes, Joel.
sure thing.
So when you first started this out, the White River Fan Con, this was taking place at the local library in Batesville, Arkansas.
Right.
What was the driving force to create this con? What was the main reason for having it?
The main reason for having this in the very beginning was there was a teacher here in town, Jessica Seat, who her students were really wanting to do a Comic Con. They wanted a Comic Con for them to go to. So they approached the library a little while back, had tried to get it off the ground and get it working. But at that point, I think this was still like 2022, I believe,
Mhm.
when this happened. So they had some little bit of struggles and weren't able to make it work quite just yet. They still need a little more planning. Cue Carlene Morrison, who is the head librarian, contacts me and asked me, he said, "Hey, I want you to come join us in this committee." I said, "Yeah, sure. What is it?" "We're going to make a Comic Con." And I was like, "Really? All right, let's do this."
Well, and then on our side,
Yeah,
Joel and I have tons of friends that, of course, are in this fandom group that love to go to cons, and
yeah,
we had always talked about how neat it would be to have something more local that we could go to. There were a lot of people that they just don't have the time or ability to travel to some of these large cons, and to have something here local. And even the first year, we featured a lot of Arkansas celebrities. So to do
yes.
something that's so homegrown and here and local and supporting the library, those two worlds just met beautifully. The need for the con and then our desire to bring something like that to Batesville.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
and the whole purpose of the convention, I mean, aside from, having a place for fans to go, the the proceeds of it actually goes to support what?
The library itself.
The
That's the whole
library itself,
point.
right?
This entire con is a fundraiser for the library to showcase what the library has to offer and to help kind of continue its mission of helping our community, making sure that people have access to education materials, to different types of events, all kinds of things to really kind of help people grow and learn. And kind of jumping back again, that was kind of the thing to what Alicia had said when we first had our very first meeting for this con. It was one of the most exciting things for me to sit down and see so many people in the community that actually wanted this to happen and come together.
Right.
It's been absolutely amazing for that reason alone.
And so that I'm not doing a clickbait with my title and thumbnail
Sure.
for this, for this stream, that's kind of, I want to kind of step a little bit even further back into history here.
Hmm.
You had mentioned that they approached you with the concept and idea of doing the con. So how long would you say from that initial approach did it take for this for the uh, foundation of the con to come to fruition?
It's about a year and a half.
About a year and a half process.
Hmm.
And what was some of the minutia there? What was some of the kind of the back and forth? Like, I would imagine, like, logistics was part of it, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, that
Like, how do we protect all, how do we keep the books from, being pulled off the shelf and all that stuff?
yeah. I mean, that was a really big thing that's trying to figure out, because in the very beginning, for the first 2 years, we had it directly inside the library, which I
Right.
loved. I liked the feeling of us having this con for the library inside the stacks and all that. But what you're asking is exactly right. It's us figuring out, okay, how do we protect all the stacks? Well, we wrap up all the stacks in plastic to make sure nobody pulls off the
Right.
books or takes anything. And then on top of it, it's also, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, we have to order tables to make sure they get here. We have to make sure we have the layout. We have do we have a company that can like cater food for us and get some stuff? So it was a lot of trying to figure out exactly what we would need to make this a success, getting the volunteers together that could
Right.
really make this serve really, really well. But then just finding exactly who all in the community could help with this and push this forward and help continue to make this a success year after year.
And we'll talk about the location moving
Yeah.
soon, but
Yeah.
having it at the library the first 2 years, like Joel said, was amazing. The atmosphere was really cool. It was nice to actually see the place that you were benefiting by coming to the con. But there is no way to overestimate how much preparation and
Yeah.
teardown there was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
And the library and all of their staff and volunteers were incredible, but it was a huge lift
Yeah,
to get
I
them
can
ready and tear
imagine
down.
I can imagine, like, just doing the prep work alone, um, going in there and so folks that are watching, listening, to kind of paint an idea, paint the picture here. Imagine going into your library, into your local library, and taking black, plastic wrap, like Saran wrap, and wrapping every single bookshelf that has books in it, just completely hiding all of that away. This library is not small by any means. It's
No,
got
No,
a
no.
no.
fairly large
It's a very
footprint.
impressive library.
Yeah.
It is very impressive, and, uh, I can imagine that that would take 48 hours at least,
That's about right, honestly.
That's basically what it took. And
and
that's kind of we talked about, we've hinted at that we do have a location change this year.
yeah,
But part of it was because by all the work and stuff that we had to do for the library, it kept it shut down for quite a few days,
right,
to the public. And we don't want to do something that also hinders the library's actual mission to the community.
right, to supply, yeah, education and books for all the people there. So that leads into, well, I mean, that kind of tethers to the logistics that we were
Yeah.
talking about a few moments ago, which ultimately leads into, I guess, this next question. So, in the first year, what was do you recall what the total number of attendees were? Not counting the vendors, just the folks that came in to purchase or participate.
We had around 700 people.
So, I mean, again, I want to paint the picture for everybody. This fan con is in Batesville, Arkansas. The population of Batesville is about 12,000
Mhm.
ish. What was the second year's uh,
Total.
attendee
Yeah.
total? Yeah.
We had about 850 people on the second year. What was interesting, we were really kind of pushing to cross 1,000 people that year, but there were suddenly a lot of things that happened at once on that weekend that just kind of changed things for us. Lyon College had what they called a Herkle Durkle Day, and all the kids went home. So it
Right.
was just like, oh
Right.
no.
Right.
There was a lot of
Yeah.
sports tournaments
Yeah,
and
there,
things
there
like
were
that around the
Yeah.
state.
there were 3 sports tournaments in one weekend that we were like, that took a large chunk of our kids. Dang.
Yeah.
So it's
And
just one of these things, like, sometimes you just can't plan for it. It was just like, well,
right.
all right,
And
there we are.
so that anticipation of growing even more into this third year, that has caused you to shift from the library
Mhm.
over to what location?
We are going to be at the Batesville Community Center now.
The Batesville Community Center. Okay.
Yep. We have
And
got the gym entirely rented out. Uh, just about everything is going to be on the main floor. What's kind of cool this year too, you remember all of the there we are.
yeah,
There's our website. If you remember that we had everything so tightly packed inside of
yes,
the library, and how many vendors we had 40-ish vendors that were actually there. This year we have about 85.
And that's crazy. I mean, I remember the first year, it was all confined to pretty much one large space upstairs for the vendor room.
Yes.
Year 2, last year, it expanded out into, what, 4 side rooms?
Yes.
5 side rooms, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I can only imagine the sheer size of it this year with 85, you said 85 vendors?
85 vendors is what we
Yes.
have at our last count. What's
I
kind of
mean,
cool about that? Yeah, yeah. I mean,
so
but
I'm going to point out, guys. Again, this is all for everybody watching and listening. February 20th through 22nd, which is next week, next Friday,
Mhm.
Saturday, Sunday.
mhm,
It's
yep.
going to be at the Batesville Community Center. That's at 1420 20th Street, Batesville, Arkansas. Um, Show up. You know, if you're in or around the area, I mean, this is going to be a big to do. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. In terms of, or let me rephrase, it doesn't look like it's going away. It looks like it is going
Yeah.
everywhere, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, the doors on Friday are going to be for VIPs.
Yes, and
But
there is a little adaptation I want to add to that. It's actually 6 to 8. We need to fix that on our website.
okay,
But
so ignore that, guys. It's
yes,
6 to 8, not 9.
They can
it's
stay and hold us tear down if they want to.
you can stay if you want to. I mean, that's totally fine. But that is the VIP event is actually going to be at the library because
Okay,
it was very important to me to actually have one event still at the library to showcase the library. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our VIP event. We are going to allow whereas last time it was like a private con day where you get to
right,
go, you get to look at all the vendors and stuff like that before everybody else. What it's going to be this year is a nice dinner where you can actually interact with with our guest celebrities that are there, and then also you'll be able to. The vendors have all been invited to join us too there, so it's something to celebrate for them. Where we have Mr. John Kapelos, like we were talking about,
hmm
is actually going to be. He's actually a jazz musician, so he's going to play jazz for us. We have our voice actor, which is Brian Massey, is actually going to do, he used to do stand up, so he's going to do a stand up routine for us. And I am going to be doing a special announcement for the 2027 con.
yeah, a little sneak information there. So definitely, if you guys want to get in on the ground level of top secret information, you know, like geeks gotta have,
Yes.
grab your VIP tickets. And Joel shared with me a little bit of it, but yeah, I think it's something worth listening to. Now, speaking of guests, so this is a list here of the guests that you have.
Yes.
Are these all still set, or has anything
They are,
changed here? I know
they
last year
are
there was a
all
little
set.
bit of a slight change.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
changes.
No changes this year. Everybody's in. They have flights and hotel rooms have all been booked for them. They're ready to be
Excellent.
here. Of course,
Excellent.
first we've got Ricky Dean Logan.
Mhm.
Now, Ricky Dean actually was part of the hoverboard gang and Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
So he's going to bring his hoverboard too. So that excites me a lot.
That's pretty cool. Hey, bonus points if it actually works, but not gonna get my hopes up there. And then you've got, Clayton Landy.
Yeah, Clayton, he's such an incredible actor. He's actually appeared in a few of Clint Eastwood movies,
Okay.
some of the newer ones, Sully, and also Trouble with the Curve. But one of his big claims to fame to fandom itself is he actually was in Deep Space Nine.
Then we have Brian Massey, which you were just mentioning,
Yeah,
the
Brian
voiceover.
is interesting. I used to work with him when we were doing films in Shreveport. So, and
Okay.
I remembered him from that. And it was kind of funny because I saw his picture. Somebody had mentioned his name. I saw his picture. Then I went, I know that guy. Wait a minute. So we kind of touched base and we kind of realized it's like, oh yeah, we did work with each other all the time. But he
So
actually does the voice of Oolong off of Dragon Ball Z.
to tie back into the whole title of this particular live, um, in the thumbnail. So and this is more just to answer a sheer curiosity question. Should there be anybody out there that's like, you know, I want to put together a convention of for folks like me, you know, for gamers and geeks and comic fans. When you reach out to folks to for guests, you know, to show
Mhm.
up, what is usually that process? Is it a, well, I know, but like in this instance with Brian Massey, I mean, you mentioned that you had worked with him previously, so I would imagine that connection was just as easy as looking him up and going, "Hey, do you remember me?"
Yeah, it really
But
was.
with some of the
That was so much
others
easier.
that are out there, what can you kind of talk us through a little bit of the process of not necessarily anybody specific, but just the general process of reaching out, how that all works?
Sure. Film actors, TV actors, and voice actors are probably the hardest to kind of sort through because most of the time when you try to get them, you have to figure out who their agent is.
Got to go through their
Right.
people.
Yeah, you got to get through their people every single time. And the problem with that is it's just finding out because sometimes you have two or three different managers depending on what you want to do. They have a specific agent that just handles cons. So you got to talk to that
Yeah,
person. You got to negotiate the price, talking about what we're doing. What is it going to take for you to get here? And
right.
sometimes some people are very big asks, which everybody knows this. If you have a William Shatner or a Mark Hamill, very expensive.
Sure, sure.
But rightfully so. So it's just like, yeah, they
Yeah,
earn that right.
right.
It's like, but so for other people, it's something a little more affordable for us to bring them here. But they still have such a wealth of experience that's really fun to do
Oh,
that.
sure,
The
sure.
easiest, I'll tell you right now, are authors.
Well, they're a little easier to get in touch with, but also I'm very persistent
Yeah,
on which authors I wanted to
And
get.
I imagine you have to be. I mean,
Yeah, well, and with our author this year, I reached out to him over a year ago through social media platforms because he kind of went viral on TikTok with some of his books, and I reached out to him personally. But it's kind of different for every celebrity.
Yeah.
Some of them the last 2 years, Joel and I have known personally. Joel knew Randall Reeder last year, who was there. We knew Gabby Graves from year one personally.
Mhm.
So it's kind of been a mix. Some of it is organic connections we already had. Some of it is contacting, their people and getting through their agents. Sometimes it's just a random shot in the dark of sending someone a message and seeing what happens. So it's
Yeah.
kind of been a journey trying to learn, which ways you have to go about this. And every category is
Sure.
different. Like you said, film and
Yeah.
TV actors are totally different than reaching out to a voice actor or an author. So it's been a fun adventure navigating all of
Yeah.
that.
And then we have one of my personal favorites, somebody that I'm kind of itching to meet and interact with is John Kapelos. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
for those of you that grew up in the born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s, you might remember movies like The Breakfast Club. He was in Breakfast Club. One of the famous lines there is one that I was quoting earlier is, "I am the eyes and ears of this institution." So he'll definitely be there. Uh,
Yep.
that's kind of exciting for me. And then we have Wyatt Weed.
White Weed is pretty interesting. If you notice here on the far left, he actually plays the boar predator in Predator 2. So definitely more of a horror icon, sci-fi, because he
Yeah.
actually has played the creature itself. But he is a big special effects artist too. Does a lot of different things when it comes to making costumes and such, and has made multiple fan-made and independent Batman
Mhm.
shorts. So part of the fun thing about him is one, yes, he has been in the Predator, and that really is a nice a nice star to have in your cap. But I like his experience and talking to us and explaining to us, hey, you want to make your own movie, you want to make
Right.
your own style. Let me tell you how to do it, and that's so cool.
And
Which
I
is
think
most of
that's
the
going to be
time.
one of the big fun things about a lot of these guests is I'm sure that they're going to be answering questions from many of the fans that show up to this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
that's exactly what I was about to say with him.
yeah,
I think his panel will be one of the most interesting because he's done so many different things and has seen such a different side of the industry. I can't wait for his panel. I think
yeah.
his panel discussion will be really interesting.
it's a nice perspective from him. Yeah,
Well, and you never know what youth is sitting in that audience that's
Mhm.
going
yeah,
to hear what he has to say or what any of them that are doing a panel have to say and go, "You mean it's that easy? I can do that?" And then run
absolutely.
with it.
That was kind of the point of year one when we had
Mhm.
Gabriella Graves show up. Was the fact I wanted somebody that started as a child actor and was very young just said, look, I want you there because I want kids to hear your story and realize,
Right.
oh my gosh, this is something I can do.
Right. Then we have one of the authors that you were mentioning.
It's Christopher Triana. He is an award-winning splatterpunk horror author.
Right up my alley.
Yeah. Well, I'm always a big fan of the authors. I'm definitely a nerd surfer. I do a little bit of everything, but I'm definitely a book nerd and I love horror. So we've had a couple of great horror authors already. You know, year one, we had John Horner Jacob, which is great, Lyon College alum. But Christopher Triana this year, he is a very decorated splatterpunk author. His book, The Old Lady, won Splatterpunk Book of the Year. And then his newest one that just released in October is also, it's won Splatterpunk Book of the Year. So
that was Music to Sacrifice versions too?
Yes. It kind of brings my two worlds together. It's a lot of rock references, heavy metal music, and a little bit of horror thrown in there too.
And then we have, for cosplay fans, we have Night Mage.
One of our big goals is I want to have a diversity of different types of, talent to kind of showcase, hey, anybody can do this. But his is such a nice perspective. One, being a male cosplayer, you see him doing all the different male roles, but just everything he's done, I've been very kind of intrigued by. He goes from anywhere from 1980s cartoons all the way to Cartoon Network. He's got a Johnny Bravo cosplay, which I was like, that's amazing. But talking with him, what he actually is a sheriff's deputy up in Cleveland, and all of his cosplay actually raises money for him to help kids in Cleveland.
He's won a lot of awards for his philanthropic endeavors, giving back to the community with the money that he has made by doing cosplay.
Has he given any hint as to what he's going to be dressing up as this year?
He has not at all, and that kind of makes me like, I feel like I should have a betting pool on the side. I was like, okay, what's it going to be?
Yeah. I don't know. Destro looks pretty impressive to me.
I know. His Destro is one of the ones I was like, that's cool.
It's very cool stuff.
He also has a Panthro from Thundercats that's pretty solid.
And then we have Gen X Joe.
Yep. Gen X Jono. John Coach Reeds is his given name, we'll say.
Yeah.
But he is a influencer, has quite the following that he does, but talks about just about anything Gen X. I do think his Columbia House is probably like my favorite shirt that he has, though. I was like, back in the day, some of you kids don't know about that.
We probably also.
Oh yeah, it was a harsh lesson learned for sure. I mean, hey, you could get 10 CDs for a penny, and then it came due 4 months later. Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Really? I didn't know that's how it was supposed to work. I thought it was only a penny. But yeah. Yeah. So to me, it looks like there's a good panel of guests that are going to be there. I think that for me, I'm definitely looking forward to some of the guests that, the guests of honor. I'm also looking forward to a lot of the vendors. There's a couple of them. I'll say a couple of them. I mean, I was going to say there's a couple of years that I've been there for exactly 2 years that I kind of gotten to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though we've only seen each other, last year was the second time we saw each other, but I remembered them. They remembered me, and I'm like, hey, this is cool. So I'm anxious to get back to that and see what wares they have for this third year. Because it's one of those things. It's almost like a TV show. First season's good. Second season's really good. Now you got this pressure of third season. What all new goodies are those vendors bringing for this third season?
That's the truth. And on top of that, because we've expanded so much by moving to the community center, we have a multitude of different vendors now. One of the things I've been telling people, I just found out some news. We're working on it. We're trying to get some paperwork finished up, but we are trying to have live tattooing at the con this year too.
Wow.
So, I mean, we're touching a little bit of everything. They're going to be doing nerdy tattoos, as provided our paperwork gets handled correctly. Then I'm like, all right, we're good to go.
But I think with our vendors and with our guests, one of the things that makes our con different than a lot of others is how broad and how much variety we have. in our vendors and in our guests. We always try to make sure that there is plenty for everyone. That's why it's just called FanCon. It doesn't matter what kind of fandom you're in. We have something for you at the con.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
we're
That's one of the cool things too that I liked about the vendors is it was a huge breadth of
Yes.
a wide swath of various products. I mean, you had
Mhm.
books, you had your anime, you had your independent artists, you have collectible cards. I mean, it's there's something there for everybody. I mean, there were toys, the minifigures,
Yeah.
Legos, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I was excited this year too. We do have just a dice salesperson that they told me, said, "Hey Joel, you okay if we just get a D&D dice person?" Yes, bring them. I need them.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice goblins out there, and
Yep.
I'm a little saddened that you just mentioned that because I'll have to bring an extra bit of cash just for that. Thanks, Joel.
For sure.
You have the same problem I do, Brian. I understand.
Which Joel and I are always working the con, but I try to make it around to the vendors. And even not having a lot of time to walk the vendors, I spent way too much money last year just because there are so many amazing things. I got like a Dexter purse and a cow print for my office and all kinds of cool things.
Yeah, I remember walking by, like, because I made a point at most of the time at the end. It's like, okay, now I got to make sure to buy the stuff I want to continue my support and all that. But I walked by the purse one, and she goes, "Hey, your wife really likes this purse." I was like, all right.
The vendor
Point
got to know me
taken.
right
How
now for me. I was
much?
giving him hints. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm looking forward to it. I'll give the final few words to you. Is there any earth-shattering, groundbreaking news that you'd like to share?
Nothing that we can really share just yet. Like I said, we're going to try to have that on our VIP night, but we'll try to post that during the con weekend too, so everybody can kind of share that awesome news. But I do want to take the time real fast to say thank you to all of our sponsors, especially our presenting sponsors this year, which is First Community Bank and Willa Harkey.
And also, we just want to remind everybody it is moving to the Batesville Community Center. And we loved being in the library, but we feel like this allows us more space to grow. It's not going to make the library shut down for multiple days in preparation and tear down. So it will help with the continuity of our library being open.
Right.
We thank the library and their staff. They've been amazing through this whole process. All the volunteers, we've got kids that come from the high schools and the college to come help us. So all of the volunteers have been amazing all of these years as well. We can't do it without volunteers. The prices are on all of our social media posts, so you can buy tickets online now. And again, we're excited for this year. It's going to be bigger and better than ever.
And you guys can be found on Facebook, of course, on the website, which is whiteriverfancon.com.
We're also on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Yeah, and once this is all said and done, I'll leave a link. I'll pin a link to the actual website as the first comment for everybody. So,
I guess the only little spoiler I could give, I know Joel said it's VIP night, and I won't name names.
Go ahead.
But anyone that knows me and has talked books with me, my favorite author might be coming next year. So, for anyone that knows me, you know who that might be.
Well, Joel, Alicia, I want to thank you all for joining, and I look forward to seeing this. I think it's going to be a big one, and hey, hopefully for years to come.
I think so too, man. And Brian, I can't wait to see you at the con.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there, and we'll shake hands and see what happens, see what trouble we can get into.
Absolutely.
Plenty with Joel Williams involved.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining in. And, hey, show up to White River Fan Con if you're in the area. If you're not and you want to make a nice drive, it is a beautiful part of the country. Weather should be nice. And
weather's looking great.
Lots of activities happening. So until next our paths cross, well, like we opened up with, may you find a place where everybody knows your name.
And roll for initiative.